Cold open! Little disclaimer here. If you have not played any of the Witcher games, read any of the Witcher books, we may spoil some details, some characters. That's to be expected. So if you know nothing about The Witcher, this is your chance to go out and play the games or read the books. This has been your one and only warning. Now, editor, ring the jingle!
Yes! They're making a fucking TV show of this shit!
We did it! We did it, fam! We did
Yes,
it! You
we
did
did.
it!
It's gonna be
You
great.
get a show! You get a show! You get a show! And Hannibal is still canceled. Shit!
You're bringing up sadness now when this is supposed to be a good thing. No,
Sorry.
wait, they're finally making a lot of good shows, they're starting to make even more good shows, and one of them they've thrown in there is the Witcher series.
Or at least shows with very high potential.
Yeah, exactly. But so the Witcher got thrown in there, and I know we were discussing this earlier, TJ, about that they've actually taken quite the interesting interesting approach of bringing in the author and the dude who directed the cinematics for the game.
Oh
And
god,
I think it's pretty cool.
That's like the perfect thing. Like, that's exactly what. Okay, say what you want to, okay, about Game of Thrones, but they do have George R.R. Martin at least looking in on it from time to time. Like, but this one is like, the writer is literally looking in and just being like, no, you can't do that. It's essentially like the Marvel Sony deal, like where Marvel can look in on the movies and be like, you can't do that.
Say. Sorry, you were saying?
No, I'm just saying it's kind of like the Marvel Sony deal with the Spider-Man stuff.
Oh yeah.
Where it's just like they can look in on what Sony's doing and be like, you can't do that. No. Bad. That's a bad. You're doing a bad. That was
one of the questions that I've had is, because you and I were discussing earlier who we think would make a good Geralt and everything, and you were saying, who was it?
Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen, yeah. But the question I was thinking to myself is, I wonder who they're gonna put as like Vesemir, as Lambert, as the other Witchers and the other characters we're gonna see. We better be seeing them. And you know who I'm really curious about? Who the fuck are they gonna get to play Letho, the School of the Viper guy?
Oh shit, you're right.
They need someone bald, big, and everything. Like, I could see if they shaved the dude who played the Mountain. Like, I don't know. I can kind of see it.
No, he has to be
short.
See
it? He has to. I thought he was a bit taller than Geralt.
Barely, but that's still short. Like, because the Mountain's like 7'2", if I remember right. He's huge.
Well, yeah, he's a mountain.
He's a monster. You know what? Just get Vincent. Get the guy who played Kingpin. Get Vincent D'Onofrio from the Daredevil series to just bring him in. He clearly already knows how to work with Netflix. Just bring him in. He crushed a dude's head with a door.
Lol.
So I'm pretty sure he can crush someone's head with thoughts. That's a hard one because he's at the School of the Viper, and I was about to go, yeah, he could just wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
School of the Viper, that's not their way.
No, that's the School of the Bear.
Yeah.
Which also, that's another question I was thinking about is because we see in the books and everything, the other schools are mentioned, but they're never really looked at too often. Are they going to look at that during the show? Is something I was wondering.
I would hope so. That's a missed opportunity.
I hope they do too, because those are important and everything. But it's like, we hear so little of them. I really wonder if the author is going to have much of anything to give to them. Because we hear like what they're like. And I remember, what was it? In The Witcher 3, we got to actually find someone from the School of the Cat. So, I think it could turn out well. Just depends how they're going to take it.
It's fine either way. I'm more concerned about, like, who are we going to get as Yennefer? Because we have to have someone who can pull that off. Who are we going to get as Ciri? Because we need an up-and-comer that is not, like, Zendaya or any of the other, like, Disney Channel guys for the sake of diversity.
Well, I mean, because The Witcher also seems like it's quite diverse, well, in its own mythical sense.
True, but for Ciri, like, she has to, like, almost look like Geralt, in a way.
Yeah.
Like, in a weird, like, not at all related way, they still have to look alike. Because that's how they're portrayed.
Yeah, I was really confused at first because I always thought Ciri was his daughter, and then after like getting through some more of the story, I was like, oh no, wait, this actually explains a lot, and yet I'm still kind of confused.
Yeah, it's gonna be a weird production either way. I mean, for the Emperor, who in the hell could you possibly get besides Charles Dance?
Oh yeah, for Emir.
The guy who already...
That's such a tall order to deliver on.
I mean,
though. That dude.
Get the actor who played him, like who voiced him in Witcher 3. That's it. Get Tywin Lannister. Call it a day. So he voiced him. Now he's playing him. It's fine.
Was he the voice actor for it? I didn't actually
know.
Yeah, he was. Okay.
I had to look that up. I was like, that sounds like Tywin.
You know, I always thought it did too, but I never bothered to look it up, and that actually explains a lot.
Yeah, he's straight up Tywin Lannister. Like, it's kind of shocking. Like, even when you think about it, like, in just base terms, like, yeah, both characters are... Yeah, they're both Tywin. Like, there's only one archetype for a Tywin Lannister character, and that's Tywin Lannister. He invented a genre of asshole. So, either way, so we have can either go really amazingly or really, really poorly series right now.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I want them to kind of take a look, because like Game of Thrones was really good, and you know what they're doing and all that. I want them to really, because from what I've seen, Witcher 3 is basically Game of Thrones from like a different perspective and a lot more dark, gritty, and you know, gory and all this. And I really want them to like take a page from Game of Thrones, how they did it in a cinematic aspect, and really apply it. Because you know, we see they can do cinematics really well. So clearly, the dude who directed the cinematics, he knows what he's doing, but I don't know if he's ever had any experience, you know, directing something like that with real people. So I'm really curious, because that's another thing I was wondering, because Witchers are supposed to be, you know, really fast, really strong, like superhuman. Are they going to get someone who's like, are they going to get the dude in real good shape, or are they going to be using a lot of like CGI? Because I don't mind CGI, but I wouldn't want that to be the fallback, you know?
Yeah, let's not.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah. It's like, I don't mind it, but that's like, don't do it unless it's like a last resort, you know?
Yeah, Netflix, if you're listening, probably not. But if you
they
are,
will one day.
You will one day, and you're gonna see this in hindsight if you don't do this. Get this guy a personal trainer.
Yeah, get him a personal trainer.
Do the Zack Snyder thing, but don't make him a brick shithouse, please. Like, the whole point of The Witcher is to be lean but strong.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to do that, though, then they need someone like the Mountain for if they're going to show off the School of the Bear. You know, then they need a brick house, but...
Yeah. Oh, God, do you ever.
I would love to see the Mountain play like one of the only people left from the School of the Bear.
Just get Brock Lesnar to be someone from the School of the Bear. Just have him suplex someone and then stab him in the heart. Welcome to Suplex City. Also, I have a knife.
Lol. I just got a phone call, and I have no idea. Like, don't call me now. I'm in the middle of something.
Stop calling people. Yeah. Damn it, professionalism.
Yeah, people are calling me right now. Ugh. But anyways.
Yeah. So either way, we may, me and Wolf may do a Dreamcast. Not a LP on a Dreamcast. Let me go ahead and throw it. But, you know, like a Dreamcast video, like who do we want for each and every role? Because there's a lot to fill in. But in base terms, just get hype. Everyone get hype.
Yeah, get hype, guys. Get hype. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, because apparently I think they may be starting with The Last Wish, like the short stories, and then just lead those straight into the story. That way we at least have an introduction to Geralt and who he is and who Yennefer is and who Ciri is, and then it's just gonna blast off from there. To, hey, the Wild Hunt's chasing me. Cool. We're screwed.
Yeah, they definitely need to start really early on to get everybody into what's going on.
Like, we need to see.
And I'm gonna be really excited to see how people react, because that in the series it deals also with like that racism stuff against the dwarves and the elves. Woo! I really want to see how people are gonna react to it in this day and age.
Oh, Americans are gonna be like, why were they so mean?
It's like, because people are shitty people.
Well, except I had a person not long ago. Not gonna name names, not gonna say where this person was, but I talked about a character specifically in The Witcher, being like, well, characters that are like sexually objectified and horribly talked to. Even then, Witcher has some of the strongest female characters probably ever.
Yeah,
in my mind. Especially given the time period. And this lady asked me, well, why is that? And I was like, well, because of all the shit that these people do have to deal with. And, at least in the game's perspective, I was like, well, especially since some of the ladies are just sexually objectified. And they're like, ugh, then I don't think I want to even see anything like that then. I was like, well, I mean, those characters are fine, but for the time period they're in, and she just cut me off. She's like, the time period is not an excuse. Sorry, but
okay.
If we're in like the early 800s or like 1200s or whatever year this takes place in.
It was the 12th century.
Yeah, if it was the 12th century, I'm pretty sure if you're a woman, you don't get to say, hey, I want equal rights, or you just get beheaded.
Yeah.
Unless you turn out to be a powerful witch or something.
Yeah. Which is like, because I've seen that in the books, it's like they do have to deal with a lot of shit, and I've seen that it's disproportionately there are more females that are capable of magic than males. I think it was actually, didn't it say it in the book that more often women can be born with it and guys have to like study a lot more because they're just shit at it normally?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's already a sense of female empowerment, but even then, if you
and they're the only ones that can make witchers, right?
Yeah, they're the only ones.
Yeah.
But even then, that's like if people stoop, that's why I'm scared of social justice warriors on this one, because if anything comes through on this show that even barely touches a little bit on the actual brutality of the age, or the tackling of these misogynistic and racist thoughts back then, or even in this fantasy era, tackling this type of thing head on, and it gets shit for it, you are part of the problem.
Yeah. I mean, because that's a core part of the story. That's kind of like why people always give Witchers shit, but still use their services,
Exactly.
That gives
not
some
even just
gritty
Witchers,
realism to the world.
Not even Witchers, but the women characters in general. Dwarfs, which are pretty much, the epitome of racism in The Witcher. Like, it just... I'm just frightened of how SJWs are going to take this and try to make it into something like, well, why did they have to do this? Well, Geralt could have been a girl. No, he couldn't have.
Yeah, no, because Witchers are only ever males, aren't they? I think they said Ciri was going to be like almost like the first, but she couldn't, right?
Yeah, she couldn't, because the Elder Blood.
Yeah, the Elder Blood. And then I think I remember them saying, like, it actually, they went into the science of it, and it had something to do with, like, what is it? Not chemicals, but I think it was, like, their genes.
Oh, yeah, the genome.
Like, the genomes, because they have to deal with mutagens and everything.
Yeah. It was something along those lines. I'd have to look it up again. But either way, still, even then, it's just like, let's just be happy we're getting this, and be happy that these issues are being brought up at all, rather than put it away. Put away these issues. We can just have a girl be the. That's what was. That's what pisses me off about the Power Rangers thing. Which, by the way, like most people saying they want Tommy to be a girl if they make a sequel. No, you can't.
It's already been established.
You literally can't. It has already been established. There was a varsity jacket in the post-credits. It could have been like a boyfriend, like an ex-boyfriend's varsity jacket. No, that is a male varsity jacket from a different school. Geralt is a male Witcher because that's the thing. You have to be a male to be a Witcher.
Yep.
That's a thing. Sorry, you don't get that.
And it's like it's not. It is kind of fair in its own because they do have Ciri as well, and while Ciri's not a Witcher, she's easily like as
the
powerful,
most overpowered thing. She is the most overpowered
She knows
character
all
in the
their
entire
alchemy.
series.
She knows all their bestiary. She knows all their fighting, and then she also has the Elder Blood.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Maybe season 2 or 3, you're gonna get. Trust me, you're gonna have your female empowerment, and you're just gonna be like, well, I'm glad they finally listened. No, that's just how the story progresses, you dipshits.
Yeah.
Sorry, SJW rant over. I don't want any hate on this video.
No, it's understandable because the Witcher series is going to touch on a lot of serious things. Like, I mean, we saw when 3 did their very first opening trailer and everything. They were about to hang that one girl for like no other reason than clearly what was implied in the trailer. I won't spoil it if anybody hasn't seen it by now somehow. But still, it's like that. It's gonna happen in the show, or like it's gonna happen in the books and the games. It's more than likely gonna happen in the show, and it's just something everybody needs to be prepared for.
Yeah, be prepared. There is like if they do this series and they do it correctly, it's gonna hit misogyny nail on head. It's gonna have to. And you can say all you want. The time period doesn't matter. It does. In this context, it definitely does. Because that's part of the world building to get you invested.
Also, have you seen anything from Toussaint, from like Blood and Wine, and then like that all that fancy chivalry shit?
Oh
that
yeah,
place is horribly like sexualized, and it's very colorful. But you never even notice it because everything's so colorful.
Yeah, so it's just like that place is like basically shut up and make me a sandwich central.
And then let's drink fancy wine and pretend we're all about fair and equal treatment.
Yeah. Let's drink some wine, but make me a sandwich first. Like that's essentially that one's in a show. Anyways, I'm not trying to call it. I'm not trying to say,
Yeah, no, we're just saying, this is the
thoughts.
world. This is what it is.
This is what the world is, and I'm afraid that these subjects may come up. Now,
exactly.
I'll say it. I'm a cis white male. I am married to a woman, and you can call me a misogynist or whatever you want, but that is simply not the case. I just have too much respect for this source material to let it be altered way too much.
I'm his brown friend, so I can vouch he's a good dude. It's not at all what he's trying to do. He's telling the truth.
Yes, my pet Mexican says so.
Hey, I thought you were my pet white boy.
Who's the real pet?
Inception. Anyway,
tell us who you think the real pet is in the comments below.
And tell us what exactly are you looking forward to in The Witcher? Are you a fan? Are you not? Are you looking to get into it? We want to know.
Yeah, and if right now, I hate to date this, but right now, Humble Store having a Witcher sale, so you have no reason to not go play these games yet on PC if you haven't already. So either way,
if worst comes to worst, you can always. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just read the books. It's fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if worst comes to worst. Yeah, exactly. Get the books, and number one's good, but the books were it was kind of a little wonky. But number 2, they really fleshed everything out. So.
Right, and even then, just show this series with some respect, and don't just go in blind. Build up that carnal want for this show like we have, and we think you'll appreciate it more. But either way, leave a like, subscribe, comment again, like we just said, what you want to see, who you think, which one of us the pet is, and we'll
definitely the white boy.
Definitely. Oh, God, I can't say Mexican again. Then it sounds bad. Damn it! You cornered me. But
I got you there, boy.
That's it. Yeah, he did. Don't bring out my Irishness against me. But that's it for this video. Again, I'm TJ of NerdMake.
I'm WotheWolf of NerdMake. And this
deuces.
Yeah, deuces. Have fun.
We're gonna
everybody.
just say deuces. This has been an unscripted video. Deuces.
Deuces.
TJ closes it. You don't. TJ 2018 beat Trump. 2020, whatever. Deuces.